Yes, it is Wednesday night. It is midnight. Well, at least in Georgia. It's almost midnight in Illinois. It's a very strange time.
Here.
It's a very strange show right now. I know. I'm right there with you guys. But I've been working on some stuff for some new shows. I had to get rid of the You Down with BCP opener, PJ. I'm very heartbroken about it. And so I've been working on this for a couple of days. I kind of want to just try out the new opener and talk some, just not even Bears. It doesn't have to be Bears, my friend. I just want to hang out.
Let's have a moment of silence for you not being able to dance no more. Let's have a moment of silence for that. Okay, that's enough. All right, there. That was enough, Bobby, because man, I will not be missing that dance at all.
I promise you I will figure out a new dance, my friend. I'll take the soundtrack from the new opener. I'll add it. I'll make a little ditty that we can bring in, and it'll be more of a like a robotic dance now.
Oh yeah, not. What's up, Cliff Victoria? Mo Bierman, thanks for joining us. I see Foster in the house.
You guys are fucking maniacs. Looks like, oh shit, thank God this just came on. I had nothing else to do right now.
Well, Cliff said he was watching Stargate Atlantis.
Oh. And is
we saved you. We saved you.
Yes, he has some special buzzer that goes off when BCP has a new show. Love it. Oh man. Did you see the new opener, Cliff? What do you think? I mean, it sucks. I mean, I have to admit, it's naughty by nature. I shouldn't be using their songs. So I'm just deciding I want to nip that in the bud and move on. And so hopefully that is a good enough opening soundtrack for now. I'm going to continue to tweak it probably. It probably will drive me crazy after a little bit, but I kind of like it at this moment. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like the new opening soundtrack, trying to work on some new things here with the channel because we got some cool stuff coming up. There's a lot of changes coming on here, and the channel's growing. So it's because of you guys. So thank you.
Cool.
I should probably really quickly just get around to the BetUS thing while I'm at it because BetUS, we are presented now by BetUS. Use that link in there, bit.ly/BearsCountry-BetUS, and you'll get 125% sign up bonus. If you do like to bet, use them, help the channel. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome for hanging out with us tonight. I mean, just out of nowhere, I figured let's just hang out for a minute. We'll talk about some new stuff going on with BCP. I wanted to try the new opener, and
before we go further, I want to add, for those of you who do bet, please bet responsibly.
Responsibly. Thank you, PJ. Yes. And if you need help, call one of those numbers. They are there to help you because seriously, we don't want you losing your house because of us. So
for real.
for real. Couple of things with the channel here. Wanted to just kind of say like Lynn Hayden had knee surgery, knee replacement surgery. So she has been out for the last couple of weeks. She's probably going to be out for the next couple. So I just want to, if you guys love the Lynn Hayden show, she'll be coming back. We're just praying for her to get better with her knee replacement. It's going well, but it is a knee replacement. So as best as it can be. And then to announce that we have a new show coming out here on BCP with Chris Watts and Jason Lumley.
Jason UK.
Called The British Bears. The British Bears Show.
That'll be interesting, guys.
Here's a preliminary. It's not the final product, but I'm working on an opener for them. This is kind of the opener. I'm kind of thinking about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. You think?
I I actually like that music. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, it's a it's a big change from what we normally do with the BCP dancing and whatnot. You that is, but yeah, I liked it. Tell us what you think there, Mo, Cliff, Foster, whoever else in the chat there. Let us know, man.
Thank you, Mo. Actually, Chris Watts picked that music out. We kind of sat and went through some soundtracks, and he picked that out. So
It kind of reminded me of Britain's type of
yeah,
music. What was that? Get Smart or one
or
of those like spy like movies.
yeah, or like what's his name with Mike Myers?
Oh yeah. Oh shucks.
Goodness, what is it?
Undercover is it something?
No, oh my goodness.
I know what you're talking about too. With
Please.
Mike Myers. Help
Yeah.
us out. It's
Austin Powers. Thank you, Mo Beerman. Yeah.
Austin
Thank you.
Powers. There you go.
Yes. So yes, we have that show coming out. We're hoping to launch that this Tuesday. It'll be around 5 p.m. Eastern time, so about 4 p.m. Central, and they're going to be doing that around 10 o'clock their time. So we're hoping to, build some viewers from the UK, and there really isn't a British show, So
Yes.
this is all Chris's idea, hanging out with us and coming out and visiting us in Chicago for a week, and more than a week. Like he's got some great ideas that just been flown out of his head, and so I was like, let's do this. So he loved
Cool.
Jason when he was on the show with us, and they
Cool.
talked, and they're like, yeah, let's do this. So I'm excited for this. Very excited. I think Chris is going to be the host, so he's going to do a great job, man. I'm proud of him.
Chris is the man. I see Bearsky join us.
What's
All
up, Bears?
right.
I'll throw you a bone. Go check out Bearsky Films, man. Bearsky Films got some good stuff going on over there, guys. A big supporter of the channel. We support Bearsky too. Thank you for joining us, Bearsky.
Absolutely. Hey, Shorty, why don't you give the people a rundown on all the shows you got during the week?
Okay, so Monday nights we've got Last Call at Hallis Hall with Dan Aguirre and myself. That is at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then Tuesdays Lester Wiltfong and I do a show on the PSF app. You guys got to check that out too. Make sure you go download the mobile app PSF Pro Sports Fans on your Android or your iPhone, and check us out there. We do a live game cast. I don't know. We're doing this next game. We're doing the Lions game together. So
Okay.
just download the app. You can go through all of the process and you'll figure it out. It's pretty easy. And then just find the Bears chat, and you'll be able to go on there while the game's going on this next weekend against the Lions. And Lester and I will be watching the game together on that app. It's
Cool.
the president is Sean Salisbury, so check that out. He is a huge contributor to this. He's pushing this like crazy. So, excuse me. It's a brand new app, so we need you guys to invest a little bit of time into it and check it out, because it's kind of an ongoing chat room. Really, it's a lot of fun. You can always it's always going on. You can always add to it. So, and then we have Lester and I have a show on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. What the hell happened to my camera there? This happened to me on Monday again with Dan. But yeah, so then we'll be doing a live game cast, and then we have a show on Tuesdays on the PSF app. Check that out too, guys. And then on Wednesdays, normally Lynn Hayden and I do a show, but she just had a knee replacement surgery done, so she's out for a little bit. I put a post up there on the YouTube channel, so we'll come back with Lynn whenever she's ready. No need for her to rush. That's a big deal. So, and then
Take your time there, Lynn.
yes, and of course Thursdays, PJ Bears
Thursdays.
Podcast with you and myself, Foster.
I am the star of that show, by the way.
You are the star of the show.
I just want you guys to know that in the chat. I am the star of the show. Not that I'm
1,000%.
being modest or anything.
No.
I'm just joking, guys.
Oh, already getting pulled from a two-person podcast. My goodness.
Just what you guys know. It's Shorty, Foster, Walt, and myself on Thursday nights. Bears Country Podcast. Someone once called it a Bears County podcast. I ain't gonna say who that person was, but
Yeah.
it's Bears Country Podcast.
Bears Country Podcast. Bears Country Productions. Subscribe. Tell your friends.
Indeed.
The other thing I wanted to say about that too was tomorrow night we have Vil coming back from the 3 Point Stands podcast. He will be joining us this Thursday night, 12/7/23 at 9 p.m. Eastern time. He'll come on about 9:15 with us. So that'll be a fun show again tomorrow with him. So tune in for that. And yeah, I'm excited for the show with Chris. I really am. And Jason.
Yes. We also want to be on Nick's show, Just Another Year, on December 26th.
Yes, sir.
On his show. We'll be joining his show. As well as next week, we're going to be on whose show?
The New Breed 313 Sports. The Lions fan, Steve, who joined us before the Lions game for the Lions preview. We're going to be on his show on Wednesday, December 13th. I'm not sure about the time yet. We will let you know that on a future show here. But yeah, a lot of hanging out with different podcasters, having some fun here on the channel, and trying to make things grow. So thank you all so very much for just being a part of this. We love you guys. And yeah, that kind of covers all of it, PJ.
Yes. Unless one of you guys want to actually join our show, and we can get you guys on as a visitor and share some of your thoughts and comments about where the Bears at. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But tonight, we're just letting you guys know what we got going on with this channel. Gave me the idea when I was listening to Aldo on the Bar Room Network last night, I believe. Yeah, it was last night. And he showed our commercial on his show last night. And I was like, you know what? We do need to do a little bit more advertising, showing people what we're about, and plug other people's shows if they're in cahoots with us per se. Like Swifty. I watch Swifty films like every day. I enjoy watching him. He does a real great job of breaking it down. I even been watching Just Another Year a lot lately. Just Another Year with Nick Rohde. I've been watching this show. So those things keep me very in tune with what's going on with the Bears.
We should also be plugging Bearski Film, who's here in chat, wondering why we're not talking Bears yet, because he's such a Bears fan. We're getting to the Bears in a second, my friend. Plugging. We're just kind of doing like a little promotion here before we start talking Bears for just a minute. This is not going to be a long show. It's just kind of coming out here, hanging out for a minute, and just promoting, talking some Bears, and we'll end this after that. But Bearski, another guy, go check you out. Check out Bearski Films on YouTube. Excellent productions. Just Another Year. Vil 3 Point Stands podcast. He's doing a great job over there. He's really amping it up. Even Keek on the mic. He's got some good stuff going on over there. He's part of the PSF team too, as well. Lester Wiltfong with he's got the Second City Gridiron going on over there. I do the show with him on PSF. Excellent information from him. He blows my mind all the time. Of course, the Barroom Network is
absolutely
the Podfather himself. Barlissimo, Swifty. So check out all those guys and use the promo code BCP in the comments.
Yes, Bearski does have some good films. I enjoy Bearski films. He does a good job of showing things on film. So Bearski, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the work you're doing.
Yeah, and Bearski is a big contributor to BCP with videos and clips and stuff that he does. So amazing job over there by you,
Yes, sir.
Bearski. Thank you
Yes,
very
indeed.
much. So I know we have a show coming up tomorrow, PJ. So we shouldn't really indulge too much Bears information, but I mean, this is a Lions game coming up that we should have won last week, and yeah,
I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna
pumped up.
talk about something else instead. I'm gonna talk about something else instead. Now that we just had a bye week, short.
Okay, okay,
Are you or are you not in on Justin Fields?
1,000% in.
All right, you guys are my witnesses. He said he's 1,000% in. Long live
Justin Fields.
Secret Agent Man.
I mean, seriously though, when you listen, Bajan
If
came
you
in.
if you start backtracking, I'm gonna put you off the show right now. I'm telling you right now.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the proof is in the shows, right? I loved his
starting the
release, his
moonwalk.
footwork, all that jazz, right?
He's starting the
But
moonwalk, y'all.
when you start to see him playing in multiple games, you see the difference once Justin comes back. Boom, the ball is holy shit, can he throw the ball much farther with much better ease, right?
He got some zip on it too.
Yeah. I trademarked just incredible, and I'm not 1,000%. The way it's going, they're gonna pull the plug. What does TBH mean, by the way? I keep forgetting that one.
To be honest.
Oh, to be honest. I hate it, but that's the reality currently. I mean,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about this more tomorrow. We kind of talked about this Monday too, but the only real solution to Justin staying on this team, I think, is keeping Flus. I mean, if you got a new head coach,
I think a sure sign of, well, I guess the core. I mean, the head coach hire or fire will become before the draft. So if we don't fire Flus, real strong chance we're keeping Justin. Now, if we keep, that's if we keep Flus. Now, if we don't keep Flus, there's a 50-50 chance, depending on who the new coach is, on whether or not we keep Justin.
I think that if they decide they want to keep Justin, they are keeping Flus.
Unless the new coach comes in and says, hey, I want to keep this guy.
Well, it would have to be a guy pounding the table for Justin.
Right?
I mean, it happens all the time. A new coach comes in, they're stuck with the guy. They want to try to make it work. It doesn't. Then they want their own guy. But now we're at this perfect window. I mean, yes, we could trade, that first pick and get another first-round pick next year. It doesn't necessarily guarantee us a quarterback if it doesn't work out in the first year of the new head coach's design for Justin. I just think that, talking with people like Lester Wiltfong, he just really reminds me that that's probably the case. Like, new head coach equals new quarterback, period. Retaining Flus means retaining Fields. I think that Harbaugh means retaining Fields, but he doesn't agree with that.
I don't know. I just think that it depends on the individual coach. Now, I do believe if it's a new young coach, never been a head coach before, yeah, that's a new quarterback. But if it's a veteran coach that we bring in, he could believe, like, you know what, I believe in Fields. I believe I can do something with him. That's who I want, because I want other weapons to go along with Fields instead of investing in a new quarterback. But I
Yeah.
think if it's a young a young head coach like Ben Johnson or somebody like that, yeah, he'll bring in his own. He'll want to bring in his own guy. So Eberflus, Fields, and maybe a new maybe a new head coach. Maybe, depending on a veteran head coach, which I don't see any other veteran head coaches out there other than maybe Harbaugh.
Yeah, I mean, that's for me. It's either Flus or Harbaugh for me as far as
Yeah,
coaches that are gonna will retain Justin Fields. I mean,
agreed.
personally, I might be wrong, but my gut is telling me that Jim Harbaugh is salivating at the opportunity to work with Justin Fields. Please, please give me the Bears job with this situation with the draft picks and Justin Fields and
Right.
the defense and the current core that we have on offense and
Oh
defense
yeah.
plus the picks. It's a
Yeah.
it is not set up any better for anyone to come in,
Right.
including Flus himself if they retain him.
Yeah.
So that's
I
why
agree.
Poles has done a great job. How is he not?
I agree. Yeah, I think when I listen to people saying how Poles hasn't done a great job, and the two things they point to is Valus Jones and Chase Claypool, and I'm like, so out of all the moves he made, those are the two things you got to say against.
All right.
That's a pretty good percentage.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like no one's going to hit on 100% of everything. So for
He's
him
hit on
to
like
hit
98%.
right for to hit on the things that he hit on, it's like so. Those are only two things you have to say against him. I think I would go with Poles. But
All
to
right.
your point, yeah, I think Harbaugh, yeah, he would love to have that opportunity to do that, and I mean that makes good sense to me.
I mean, Poles all the way down to Terrell Smith.
Yes,
Terrell Smith
yes,
is, I mean, we loved the pick at the
yeah,
time, but you never like you can't count on a fifth rounder like that, right? Like
right,
we were all just high on him because we were looking at the intangibles at the pick, right? At the time. And
right,
it's like now it's coming to fruition. It's like, okay, he's playing out.
yes,
He's playing
yes,
well. Considering he had
yeah,
mono. I mean, he had mono, guys. That's not easy to recover from mono.
right, because that
Nucleosis.
that caused Leatherwood to lose 25 pounds for us last year when
Yeah.
he had mom.
Yeah. So I mean,
But but to the point of Harbaugh, I'm not saying bring him in. I'm just saying. I mean, I know he has his issues. I mean, I'm personally a fan of him. However, I'm still not giving up on Flus yet because you guys got to admit we was looking pretty bad last year. Now for us to have a top 10 defense,
mhm.
pretty good, pretty
Yeah,
good,
the numbers
pretty
are
good.
the numbers are they're trending up, right? Defense and offense. They keep on
Absolutely.
gaining ground and position as far as their rankings.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
This team is not it's not on the downward spiral, it's on the upward. It just has taken some time because I mean, the coaching staff, they were rookies themselves.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
it's gonna be interesting to see what happens as we move forward with these next 5 games. If we can beat the Lions, we'll talk about that more tomorrow night, but if we can beat them, and that's gonna be huge, huge because winning breeds success and losing breeds failure, right? And we've
True.
seen the losing, and you would think that once they get that taste in their mouth, if they can just finally get over the hump and win 2 in a row, it's almost like
Right.
it could just become, um
Well, they have to learn how to win.
yeah, that's what I mean. It will become
Yeah.
contagious.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, let me address Mo Beerman. I'm not of the belief that just because we stick with Fields, if he's not earned $40 million a year, you don't have to pay him $40 million a year. I mean, because if he's a reasonable man, which he appears to be, and I'm sure his agent is too, if he's still gradually progressing, but he's not top tier yet, who's to say you have to pay him 40 million? You probably can get away with paying him 20, 15, 25, whatever it is. You don't necessarily have to pay him 40. I mean, because I bet you if the Giants had to redo it all over again, they wouldn't pay Daniel Jones at 40 million. And what does that mean? You don't pay him, he's going to go elsewhere. Okay. You don't pay him 40 million, he goes elsewhere. No one else is going to pay him that 40 million either if
Right.
he's not showing it. So let's not think that we have to pay him that 40 million. Um,
It could be if
But
it's incentive laden, it would be perfect.
yeah, I mean, agreed, agreed. Now, Skylark, thanks for joining us, Skylark.
What's up,
Uh,
Skylark?
I would like to say, Dave Tobe, I think his window of being a head coach is probably
But
past.
I agree with you on that though. Dave Tobe, I think, would have been a great head coach
Maybe,
6
maybe about 5 or 10 years ago,
Yeah, yeah,
but now maybe not so much. As
yeah.
far as David Shaw being out of the league or not coaching for a year, I think he's been out of coaching for a year. And to my knowledge, well, I know he's never been a head coach in the NFL. So with that, would it be a good idea to bring in a guy with who's been out of coaching for a year and never been a head coach in the NFL to bring him to be a coach? That'd be a tough call.
Yeah,
That'd be a tough call. I mean, maybe he can start off as a offensive coordinator or something like that, but to bring him as a head coach, I'm not so sure about that.
yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I think at this point, I'm just over trying to start over with a new head coach that's never head coached before. It's this has I mean, and this it's just I just keep going back to it's so obvious. Harbaugh is so obvious to me
So I
that
got
it's
one for
like,
you. I got one for you.
who's that?
What would you do? Now, I'm talking about after this year. What would you do to get Shanahan? Would you make a trade to get Shanahan?
Well, you have to trade one of those picks.
That's what I said. After this year, I mean, I would, go with this pick, go with the picks this year. Then after the draft, be like, you know what? What can I do to get Shanahan?
Can I tell you what I think about Shanahan?
Go ahead.
I think Shanahan is a genius that will never win a Super Bowl.
Whoa. I
Yeah,
think he's going to win one this year.
I don't. I think he's going to get to the championship and lose again.
Oh, wow.
I
Wow.
just don't
That's
know.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to that collapse in the Super Bowl for the
With Atlanta,
offensive coordinator
with
for
Dan,
the yes.
with Dan Quinn? Okay.
Again, not his fault, but they
Right.
couldn't score another point in the second half.
Yeah, I think it was somewhat. Yeah, he did it. I mean, because he kind of abandoned the run a little bit, and yeah, I think he learned from
I
that
will
though.
say this though, he has the Packers number, so I'll take him just for that.
But one thing, I mean, because I went to the barber shop the other day, and whenever you go to the barber shop, there's loads of conversations. So we got in the converse because my barber is a shout out to Steve Winters. My barber is a 49er fan, and he, him and I talk about the 49ers, and I must give him I must give him credit. The 49ers seem like they kind of remind me of when Walsh was coaching them, how they paid attention to detail to where they teach the angle of the block that you should make and not just the block itself, to where they can fine tune the details to where on that sideway screen pass that we had Fields throwing 21 times. When they threw it to Debo, he went to the end zone untouched because they give the fine points of the detail of the play. That's something I'm not sure our coaches do, is
Right.
give the details. And I think that's what separates Shanahan's staff from our staff, as well as many other staffs. He gives a lot of detail on what the guy, because when these guys get open, they be open. It's like, man, how are these guys so wide open? And I think it's all in the detail of the play design. And I think that's something that we don't do, and a lot of other coaches don't do around the league.
You see it year in, year out with him. I mean,
Yes.
the running game is incredible. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
the designs of the runs are just sick. That's why they can
Man,
win with a Brock Purdy. You put a Brock Purdy on the Bears, do you think we're gonna win games with him? No.
not at all. Not at all. I mean, and that's what, and it's a similar offense, and that's what I'm saying. It's the details. That's the difference. It's the details in how you design your plays and emphasize it in practice. You have to be detailed. And
Mhm.
I think that's what separates Shanahan so much.
Mhm.
As far as the Chiefs, I think Andy Reid does a lot of that too. But to
Mhm.
Andy Reid's detriment, he got Matt Nagy with him, who's sitting up in the lab in his basement somewhere, coming up with these plays.
I'm not even going to
And
get into that. I have zero thought.
not really necessarily practicing the plays, but he designs them. And that's what the problem comes in, that you have to get the detail.
Yes, yes, you're correct on that. That's to compare him to Walsh is actually it's a good modern comparison, and it just
Yeah.
sucks that they're both on the same team. Like, why can't that be the Bears head coach doing that?
Yeah.
Now, you
I
can
mean,
imagine what he would have done with Justin Fields, right? I mean,
well, remember they was
you
calling
know he's kicking himself right now.
who?
Shanahan for not drafting Fields.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Especially when he did all that moving up to get to the number 3 spot to draft Lance. And yeah,
And somehow lucked out with a 7th round with Mr. Irrelevant as the quarterback. What the
right. You got it, man. I'm telling you, that's what I said. That's why part of the reason why I'm saying we want to give up the. I mean, we want to invest in another first round draft pick. I mean, we had Trubisky, now we got Fields. How about let's roll them with these guys and giving these guys great teachers, great coaches, and a team around them that can actually help instead of trying to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What's up, Ravi? Come up, Destroyer 1320. Glad you guys can join us on this pop up.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Just a pop-up show. We have a show tomorrow night, but I was frisky. I was like, anyone want to do a show tonight? He's like, I'm going to call your bluff. What's taking so long, man? I'm like, I'm trying to make the thumbnail. Come on, give me a second. What's up, Walt?
What's up?
Walt's in the house.
Yeah, so you guys
Awesome.
Sean, figured I'd jump in.
Now we're just
I appreciate it, man.
Foster for the pop-up. What are your thoughts on our conversation so far? You've been in the background listening.
I only caught this just now. What else you guys been talking about?
Pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, we gave advertisements earlier.
Yeah, we've been plugging some shows. We got a new show coming up with Chris Watts and Jason Lumley called The British Bears. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I saw the opener. It looked good. And then I had to go do a couple other things.
Yeah, got to get rid of the soundtrack. Bummer.
Oh, well. It won't be missed.
Oh, no. It won't. It will not be missed because I will still be dancing. I'm working on that.
Well, you can go do that. So what do you think about this report, Shorty, with Harbaugh and the relationship with Kevin Warren that's been floating around?
What, today?
Today, yesterday, past couple of days.
What was it? I missed it.
Oh, it's just they have a fractured relationship from his time in the Big Ten.
Oh.
Well, I'm not really worried about it. I mean,
I'm not worried. He's not coming here anyway, so what does it matter?
Might be wrong about that.
I don't know. I mean, like I told you guys before, I think Eberflus has done a good job of saving his job with the way the defense has been playing. It's kind of hard to say, "Hey, we're gonna give you a team that we totally tore down and hold that against you," because of next year when we actually start giving you some pieces to work with, you actually showing improvement, but we're going to fire you now. That doesn't really make sense. So, yeah.
All right. Well, Foster, I can send you a link if you want to join us. I'm not at my studio. I have no link, but it's you guys for the pop-up. I can send you a link, buddy. I can email it to you if you want to sit in your car.
Or go driving.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. No, we're not going to make this a long show. We just wanted to hang out for a minute and shoot some shit, plug some shows, talk about some stuff coming on here on BCP. Plug BetUS, plug PSF. And remind you that we'll be on here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. having a good time
Yes.
with all of
Yes.
us and our guest, Vil, from the 3 Point Stands podcast.
Absolutely. Let me address Ravi real quick. I agree. The team did quit on Nagy as well as Trestman.
Yeah.
Because they quit. Yes, they did. And from what I could see on the field, they're still playing hard for Eberflus.
Mhm.
Getsy, I mean, yeah, they're playing hard for him, but his play design is kind of suspect at best. I mean,
Putting it lightly
I'm
there,
not a
PJ.
fan.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm telling you, Walt, it's rough.
Yeah. But the defense, I mean, there's some plays that you see. I that last game, just watching some plays by like Kyler Gordon and Terrell Smith, just plays where you see the ball come out of the quarterback's hand for like a 7-yard gain and bam, destroyed by the guy who was already in pursuit, ready to lay him out like Peanut Tillman.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
even what was his name? He
Mike
played
Brown,
really no, the other cornerback that played really well at the
Nate
end of
Batcher,
at the end of Lovie Smith's tenure.
Walt Harris. Oh,
No, cornerback. But to my point, Vasher did it too. Where you're just seeing the ball, just the guy's just getting laid out right when he's catching it. The bend don't break style of defense, and
yeah.
my point is he has not lost the team. The defense has been
Agreed.
playing better and better and better with more enthusiasm, hitting players harder, hitting them on time, getting to their gaps on time, getting to the quarterback more quarterback pressures, if not sacks. The addition of Sweat last week. By the way, let's talk about that sack really quick. I love how he didn't slam him to the ground. He kind of flipped him around so he kind of avoided injuring the quarterback. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
When he was sacking him, a lot of guys would have just taken him and slammed him to the ground, but he kind of like grabbed him and flipped around with him so that he like just tackled him, but not having to do the extra added injury, causing force to the tackle. That's what I loved about Urlacher. He never tried to hurt people. He would always try to avoid hurting them, even when he tackled them.
I'm not gonna lie. I love a hard hit.
I know.
I do.
Me too. Me too.
I do. I
But
do.
now it's like I'm starting to cringe. Like, fuck. Probably because I'm getting older. It's like, oh man, that would have hurt.
That's the truth right there. When you get older, that's how you start thinking.
I don't think anyone's going out of their way to hurt anybody across the league.
Well,
Right.
but back in the day they did. Whereas now you're seeing a little more. I'm just saying I appreciate the gamesmanship from Sweat on that sack where he could have deliberately slammed him, on his shoulder, but he kind of rolled with him and on that awesome sack that he had last week.
Yeah. I think Robbie said, was it Tim Jennings, the cornerback you was talking about?
Tim Jennings, thank you. Tim Jennings, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that Eberflus, he's doing okay with the defense. I mean, I know he's a head coach and not the defensive coordinator, and he really does want to be more of the CEO, according to him. But you have to admit, he got this defense playing, and he has to realize that himself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, D'Amico Ryans is calling the defense for Houston, although he is a head coach. And if it's working, and if you're the best option, you got to be like, hey, I just got to suck it up and do what I got to do and keep this team going. Because when Alan Williams was calling the defense, it wasn't nearly as good as it is now.
No. So do you see him coming back next year, Walt, as defensive coordinator?
Who, Matt Eberflus?
Flus, yeah. If he comes back, is he
going to be here as head coach? So I mean,
if he does come back, is he the DC?
No, he's the head coach.
Is there a new DC?
Possibly. I mean, you're more likely going to hire somebody to be your defensive coordinator, even if who's calling the plays. If you
Ron
just stick.
Rivera?
Ron Rivera is one, straw break away from being a serial killer, honestly. But
What?
You never know what Walker to come up with.
He just says it so nonchalantly. Just okay. Okay, Walt.
yeah, no thanks. I don't know who it would be. I haven't done any of the research, so I kind of I can't say definitively who I'd want. Would I do that? But I think Evil's going to be back as head coach. More than likely, he'll still be calling defense, working with somebody underneath him as de facto defensive coordinator. He plays that style of coaching where it's each one has their own team. So like Flus is head of the body, and then everyone else below him does their own thing. So that's why you're seeing the defense take such a drastic turn from Allen Williams. Because Williams just couldn't get it done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that more with Luke Getzey, where his arm is just kind of just withering and dying here, pretty much.
Robbie's saying, now they play hard. He has a chance to come back as head coach. Firing head coach after 2 seasons isn't really fair, especially with no talent. Let's save McCaskey's money and run it back. I mean, I think you're right that's ultimately what's going to happen, Robbie. I think that's what
I agree.
Cliff's saying that Wanstead wants the DC job. Oh, man, really?
I think that ship has sailed.
I
mean, that ship is so far down the road. I mean, down the river that that ship will probably sunk.
How old is he? He's 71.
Oh, he just
Wani has pretty much auditioned and kissed Flute's butt in his recent videos. Wani likes to drink at work in the media. He does. He sips on scotch, doesn't he?
Man.
He'd be sipping on scotch in his office. He'd have that carafe,
Sipping on some scissor.
I mean, what about looking into some college defensive coordinators, from the big defensive schools like Iowa, Wisconsin, Utah, places like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something different out of the box.
Now, I did hear. What's up, Chris Watts? Good morning to you.
Chris, we said when we were starting the show, my idea was it's midnight here in Georgia. That means it's 5 a.m. in the UK and 9 p.m. in California. So there'll be somebody watching this, and I called it. We woke up with you.
Man.
What's up, my friend?
Now, I think that there was somebody I seen made a good point. They said when you have a staff, you have a staff either like filled with a bunch of veterans or a bunch of like college head coaches. And the Bears have a staff that's filled with a bunch of veteran coaches. So they're not really relatable to the younger players. So that made us making it hard for the offense to get going. And to your point, Walt, I think that if we bring in a defensive coordinator, if he can jive with what we got going on, which I think he probably could, but he has to be able to be on the same page with Flus, because that to me is the key. What Flus got going on, I hope he can duplicate and improve upon it, because obviously Allen Williams was not able to do that.
Yeah, Morgan Scaley is the guy I was talking about out of Utah. That's his name. I couldn't remember who it was.
I mean, I would like a Greg Roman would fit Justin Fields really well too for a new offensive coordinator if we retain Flus.
I'm real curious to know who offensive coordinator there was an offensive coordinator. I forgot. Is he the one in Kentucky? They said was you was under Shanahan or somebody, and went to college and became an offensive coordinator somewhere. It was- that's I forget the guy's name and where he's at, but I'm interested in someone who's familiar with the system, but in the way that Shanahan runs it, with a heavy run game, with attention to detail. I want somebody along that tree, not the tree that gets is coming from.
I mean,
Because
what Liam Cohen? I think's his name, or Liam Cohen,
where's he at?
Kentucky.
Yeah, it could have been him. I forget what the guy's name was, but they were saying because actually heard it from Coach T. I watched this podcast, and he was like, uh, "It's a coordinator. It was a coordinator who's an offensive coordinator in college now, who comes from this tree, but he comes from the Shanahan side of it, where you have that emphasis on running and doing the attention to detail, something
Is
that
is McVay a Shanahan disciple? I don't remember if he is or isn't.
McVay is. Yes,
Okay,
McVay
yeah,
is.
because this guy was the offensive coordinator for the Rams in 2022, 2023.
That could be him. It could be him. It could be him because McVay, he did a good job when he had Todd Gurley when they was doing a heavy run offense. I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. You got to be able to have that heavy run and then give that good attention to detail. Again, the key attention to detail. So when you run that screen pass, this is the angle of the block you want to make because you can have Samuels run a doggone screen pass and take it to the house and get untouched.
Hmm.
Whereas we run the screen pass and our guys get tackled for 2 yards, a 2 yard loss because we're missing blocks.
Right. Mo Beerman's bringing up Jay Gruden for offensive coordinator.
Different system. And I think going in a different system, I think we would kind of well, I shouldn't say regress because we're already bad, but it'll be a learning curve, and it'll be taking their time because believe it or not, I think our lack of playing our guys in the preseason hurt us for first 4 weeks. So I think we need to get on the page and get together and get a groove going and hit the next year on the ground running as opposed to still trying to figure stuff out.
Fair enough. We'll take that. Well,
Yeah,
any rebuttal?
Nothing wrong with that.
Chris Watts getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm trying to type. I'll just say it. I'm running a podcast. I can just say it. Damn, Chris, I haven't gotten up at 6 o'clock in the morning on a regular, just any random Thursday in like 15 years or more. Like, good job getting up at 6 a.m., bro. Did you go for a walk? Did you take a walk around the commons, go get some coffee? In the dark, the fucking sun hasn't even come up yet. He's waking up.
Oh, I've got another question for you, though.
I needed to pee, he says. So what, you needed to pee and you saw that we were doing a live show? Were you sitting down? Oh, I got it. You're 50 now, Chris. So you sat down to pee with your phone and then you saw the notification for the show. I get it.
That was a low blow. So, Walt, question for you. I already asked Shorty this, but I'm gonna word it to you. I want to give a different player for you, or a different coach for you. After the draft,
Mhm.
would you consider trading for Sean McVay?
No.
Oh man. So now you're going with these scenarios now because you have an extra pick you got some
That's what
money
I'm saying.
burning a hole
After
in
the
your
draft, that's what I'm saying. After, because I actually want to use them on this draft. I'm thinking about moving forward because I'm like, I'm wanting a coach, but I'm not trying to give up our draft this year. Well, maybe next year or this upcoming draft, I want to actually get some players. But I'm looking at these two type of coaches that has been successful. And instead of trying to find someone to duplicate them, get the originals.
Just go get the guy. You
Yeah.
got the picks, right? Trade
I don't know.
trade that first pick down, get another pick. You can use that to get a head coach, right? Sorry, Walt, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I was say recently McVay hasn't been all that great after winning the Super Bowl. He's kind of fallen off a bit.
Yeah, he has fallen off. That's what we might be able to get him for cheap.
Yeah. A second rounder.
I don't know. I'm of the opinion if I'm going to move on from Flus, and I know some people are going to hate this, but I'm going to try and build a whole new coaching staff, like something young, something different.
Young guys, PJ.
It's time. I mean, there's definitely candidates in the NFL right now that can come in and do the head coaching job, not just on the Bears, but across the NFL as a whole. But at the same time, if I'm going to build a dynasty, I'm going to build it from the ground up, and it starts with the coaching staff. So whether it means scouring the college ranks for somebody, that diamond in the rough per se.
But you're looking for a guy with previous head coaching experience?
Be a plus if they have it. Like say Ryan Day was available, just throwing it out there. Because there has been talks that he's trying to groom himself for an NFL job now, especially with so many of his guys going to the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking at it like, for me, Eberflus as well as Getsy was learning on the job.
Yeah.
Although Eberflus has turned it around because he actually took over the play calling, Eberflus has not. So I don't think it's him being a first-time offensive coordinator really translated for him. So that's fine. That makes me scared of getting a young guy without experience in that job already.
Yeah, I'm not. We've done that most of the time.
It's different though. It's not just experience in the job. It's also building the right team around them. Because you could take a guy who's had no experience whatsoever, but if you can put together the right team and understands the fundamentals, then there you go, right there.
Well, for me, I'd rather just stick with Flus then.
Yeah, I mean,
just replace the OC. Yeah,
I'm just saying if they choose to move on from Matt Eberflus, and I was in a situation like that, I'd bring in guys, the veteran coaches like the Dan Quinns and whatnot to interview for the job. I'd even interview Jim Harbaugh, and I don't like him whatsoever. But
what are you, 27, Walt?
I'm 36.
Oh, jeez.
That's a good age.
There
you go. That's a good age. I kind of wish I was 36 again.
Yeah, me too. I remember 36.
Yes, Foster, you're correct. They did that with Matt Eberflus, and to his point, he's kind of showing he can do the job now. But his supporting cast in terms of his staff haven't been the greatest. So I'm going to knock him on that. Maybe keep Flus as the head and bring in a couple other guys that are better suited, or maybe have half a brain in their skull. Then it's a different story.
More experience, I would think, because even if you're young, at least maybe if you can have a couple of different systems that as opposed to only knowing one system like Getsy does, and you only know that one system from being with a quarterback who is one of the greatest to ever do it. So you don't have much room to wiggle and learn and do things differently. So I think that's part of the problem too. You go behind Rodgers and like, oh well, Rodgers did it this way, so let's do exact like Rodgers instead of working with who you got.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, if these older, I don't say old guys, but these older guys here that are the usual suspects, so to speak. If they were decent at what they were doing, they'd have a job somewhere. You would think.
True.
Yeah.
Or at least that head coaching job.
Now, Skylark, I forget his numbers out there, but Skylark in the chat, he mentioned David Shaw. What do you think of David Shaw?
Where's he out of? First time I heard the name.
Stanford. He was a Stanford head coach.
This year?
No, last year.
Last year.
2 years. 2 years ago. Well, he was a Stanford head coach for a while there. He was the head coach when Luck was there, I believe. David Shaw. Because he would do the commentaries on draft day. Black guy, bald headed. He would do the.
Yeah. It seemed like he did okay in the early 2000s, like through 2010s, but not recently. I mean, at least in the, I was looking at, 2011, 2000, say 18, he did all right. And then the last couple of years, it's been,
Lack of
so.
talent, though. You don't
Yeah,
have
no,
no
I was
talent.
gonna say it could be a lack of
Yeah.
talent. Definitely could be.
Well, guys, I don't want to let this show go on too long. It's going on an hour now. We have to keep you guys wanting more for tomorrow night. That's going to be an 8-hour show.
I mean, tonight, technically.
Oh.
Tonight. Yeah. In 10 hours, we'll see you again. No, wait. Yeah.
Let's leave the math alone.
Yeah, fuck the
we're
math.
talking.
Math,
We're
yeah.
talking like 20 hours from now, and you're talking about 10.
Well, that's what exactly. Jeez, I can't believe I make circuit boards. Jesus Christ. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I love this guy, y'all. I just want y'all to know for the record, I love this guy.
I love you too, man. It's awesome that we just pop-up show right out of nowhere. Just had a little bit of fun tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night, or tonight, I should say, at 9 p.m. with
That's
Foster
Getsy.
and our guest, Vil from the 3 Point Stands podcast.
Please join us, guys, and tell a friend.
Yes, please join us. Tell a friend, subscribe, set your notifications. If you're going to bet with the US, use the link in the description of the show. It will get you a 125% bonus, and you'll help out the channel. Also, check out the PSF app on your mobile device and hang out with Lester and I this weekend while we watch the game together against the Lions. Plus, we have a show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time on that same app in the Bears chat. It's good stuff. It's a founding app. It's like just came out of nowhere. It's in its infancy, and we're trying to help it grow. So, very proud to be a part of that. So check that out too, guys. Again, we got Chris Watts and Jason Lumley coming up this coming Tuesday with the British Bears show. Chris Watts, the host of our newest show on BCP. Very excited about that. Very excited. I can't wait to see what Chris is. Chris is going to nail it. He's going to fucking do a great job. Shorty saying, Foster's saying, Shorty opens up the coffins. Oh, sorry, go back to sleep. Shorty, look at your damn clock. Yes, I am, Mo. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at math. I use calculators for math.
And there you have it.
Guys,
again, guys, everyone in the chat, appreciate you joining us, and we will see you guys later on this evening.
Appreciate every one of you. Mo, Foster, Chris, Cliff, Ravi, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are awesome. You guys are what makes this go around. We will see you in less than 24 hours on the Bears Country Podcast show with all of us, plus Foster and our guest, Vil from the 3 Point Stands podcast. See you guys soon. To do the we have to do the Bears. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bears.
Oh my God.
You hit it. I got it.